He tightened the rope tied around his body, and then, under the astonished gaze of the woman standing nearby, Jason suddenly opened the plane's door. Looking down at the ground thousands of meters below, he hesitated for a moment before slowly starting to move his feet. Once there was no support under his feet, Jason's entire body was hanging in mid-air. At this moment, he could only rely on the strength of his arms to ensure his survival, but he couldn't stop here. He had to reach the front of the plane because it was the only way both of them could survive. Taking a deep breath, he made a move that surprised even his companion. After steadying himself, Jason took a cold breath, but without pausing, he swung his arms again to grab another hold. He knew that once fatigue set in, it would be difficult to move forward, so he had to do everything immediately. Jason extended his left hand and tried to unscrew a bolt, but the wind was so strong that he was having trouble maintaining his grip. At one point, he slipped, but going back was no longer an option. He gathered his courage again, steadied himself, and finally managed to unscrew the bolt. The unsecured panel disappeared into the sky. Now Jason saw the reason for the plane's rapid fuel consumption. There was a hole in the fuel pipe, which, if not quickly fixed, could cause the plane to crash due to lack of fuel. Without wasting any time, he tore a piece of tape from his wrist and tried to seal the hole, but it proved to be very difficult. Failing once, he tore off another piece of tape. Meanwhile, Sarah looked at the fuel gauge and realized the situation was critical, but she couldn't tell Jason to hurry. Finally, Jason managed to seal the hole in the pipe with the tape. Seeing the needle on the gauge stabilize, Sarah breathed a sigh of relief, but then another accident occurred. While trying to return, Jason suddenly began to fall, but he caught hold of the plane's wing, preventing a major tragedy. Seeing her partner dangling and about to fall, Sarah unbuckled her seatbelt and quickly reached the plane's door. She shouted for Jason to grab the nearby tire. The terrified Jason immediately shifted his weight toward the tire. Just as Sarah was about to take the next step, the plane suddenly shook uncontrollably. Sensing danger, she left Jason there and moved to the pilot's seat. She used a seatbelt to secure the steering wheel firmly, preventing any further unwanted turbulence. With this layer of security, she cut the rope tied to the tire with scissors and grabbed Jason. After counting down 3, 2, 1, they managed to pull Jason back to safety. Although he returned safely, one of his arms was injured. Sarah quickly bandaged him. Before they could both catch their breath, another bad news came. The hole in the fuel pipe was sealed, but the leaked fuel had almost emptied the plane's tank. Then Sarah saw a bottle of rum nearby and thought that maybe it could serve as a substitute for fuel. Like for the next part, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notifications as soon as possible.